What's up everybody, Nagamaki Jeremy here with Nagamaki Shears. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at scissors that are made in China, South Korea, and Japan, and doing a comparison of all three based on overall quality, pricing, and value. Let's get into it. Before we get started, if you're interested in any of our products, head over to nagamakishears.com, fast and easy fulfillment with more financing and payment options than any other scissor company. Also, while you're there, make sure you sign up for our newsletter. It's the place where we give out informative information, new releases, and discount codes. And as of releasing this video, November 20th, you also can get early access to our Black Friday and Cyber Monday deals. Also, make sure and give us a follow on Instagram at Nagamaki Shears for all the latest photos and updates. Now, before we get started, in full disclosure, everything you're going to see here in this video, both scissors and lighters, I have purchased with my own money, and so these are my own personal opinions. So in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at scissors that are made in China, South Korea, and Japan. Anybody that knows me knows that I love a great analogy, and I've come up with what I think is a really cool way to better explain the difference between these different types of scissors. We're going to be comparing these all to lighters because it is a great fundamental way to show the difference in price, quality, and value not only between the scissors, but the actual lighters themselves. So we do have a video that further clarifies and really does a deep dive into some of the topics that we're going to be talking about today, what to know when buying a professional scissor or shear. If you're interested in knowing even more than the broad landscape that we're going to be looking at today, check out that video. I will leave a link to it in the description. So starting off, we're going to be taking a look at this scissor here that is made in China, and it costs anywhere from $30 to $60. This is a scissor that we're going to compare to this guy right here. They are both made with the emphasis of quantity and not quality. They are both made with the emphasis of being a very cheap option, and they are both made with the emphasis of not being able to use for a long period of time. Anybody who's used this lighter here knows that oftentimes this lighter is going to break down and it's going to fall apart before you can even use all the fuel. And that's very similar to this very cheap offering that's made in China, this $30 to $60 scissor. It's going to be really rough and hard on the hand, and it's not really even made to be sharpened and last a long time. So again, we're going to compare this cheap scissor with this cheap lighter in the same reference of they're both made with the focus quantity over quality, and that they're not supposed to last a long time. Now next, staying with Chinese-made scissors, there is a level up. This guy here, this is a very popular scissor that is made in China. And you're gonna be able to feel the quality right away. And we're gonna compare this scissor to this guy right here. Again, kind of the same premise though. This is going to be a step up from our last offering, but anybody who's ever handled one of these knows you're gonna get a much better experience. This thing you're probably going to use until the fuel is completely gone, but then again, it's also not designed to go beyond that point. And so I would really compare this scissor, this more well-made Chinese scissor, with this lighter right here because again, it is a step up, it's a better quality experience, it's made better, it's made to last longer, but at the end of the day, because of how it's made, it is still not made to last a really long time. So now while looking at these offerings both made in China, the one common thing they're both gonna have, even though they range from lower quality to higher quality, is the way they're made. Just like these lighters are produced to be made super fast and both produced with the expectation of producing a mass quantity instead of focusing on the quality. Your first sign you're gonna be able to know that a scissor is cheaper made is if they're casted or forged. And if you look at this diagram here, you'll be able to see that the grain flow in a casted shear, because it is molted into liquid metal and then poured, when it cools, the molecules never really form back in the same structure that they were. And this is really important as compared to the forged. If you look at the forged diagram here, the lines are all in row, and this is going to give you a much better, longer lasting product. And so when we take our scissors that are cheaply made in China, one of the first things you want to do to kind of see how it's made is a really simple test, and we're going to use a magnet. And you can always tell that a scissor has been poured into a mold or is casted by simply putting a magnet on the handle and seeing if it sticks. If the magnet sticks to the handle, that means that this whole shape was poured in a liquid metal or casted. And so what happens is when you try and sharpen either one of these casted scissors, once you get past and you start grinding away the steel that's underneath, if you go back to the diagram and look at the casted molecules and how they flow, you're going to get a weaker structure that's actually underneath. And this again is why these aren't going to last as long. They're not designed and they're not made to last as long. And that's why these are on the lower end of the spectrum as far as quality and value. Moving on, we're going to be taking a look at scissors that are made in South Korea. Now, this is going to be a much higher offering. This is going to be something that is forged, and again, we're going to be able to take our magnet and it will not stick to that handle. So we're automatically going to be able to tell that the blades are forged and that they are meant to be sharpened, and this is going to last you a longer time. We would reference the South Korean offerings to something more comparable to this. This is going to be even more high quality than the last two lighters, but more importantly, this is actually designed and made to last. You are able to refuel this. Build quality's better, it's not gonna fall apart. And again, that is really a good comparison to a South Korean scissor where the quality has such a significant difference that you're able to feel. It's also designed, just like this lighter, to last you a longer period of time. And so again, this is a scissor that is forged, and this is a scissor that is meant to be sharpened and is going to last you a long period of time. And this is a really good analogy to comparison as far as quality, value, and make. So last but not least, we're going to be looking at a Japanese scissor. A scissor that is 100% made in Japan from Japanese steel by highly qualified craftsmen. The best comparison is going to be comparing it to this lighter. And anybody who's had this lighter and knows what this lighter is, it's such a fitting comparison because this is a lighter that will stand the test of time. This lighter is something you could give to your children or even your grandchildren. It will last that long. And the same is to be said about this Japanese scissor. It is much like this lighter. It is the original design of all of the other offerings here on the table. It is made with the highest quality products, and it's made to last the longest amount of time. And so when you're talking about a high-end scissor that is just proven over the decades, that is going to last you the longest and be the highest quality, you're talking about a Japanese scissor. And so if you've noticed, there's one more lighter at the very end of our list here, and we saved this one for last. This is a bonus, and this one is going to be in reference to something custom. So you're gonna get all of the same high quality craftsmanship. You're gonna get all of the same overall value that you get from a Japanese scissor. However, this is gonna be custom made, something you've picked out, something that you have, you know, maybe scribed your own logo, your own name and lettering and something like that. So this is more comparable to that. And again, it's the most expensive offering. I like to say when it comes to Japanese scissors or scissors in general, typically our rule of thumb is that if you go over $1,000, it needs to be something custom. There's no scissor out there that I've ever seen that's made from a material or made in such a way that should cost more than $1,000. The only thing I can think of is when you're getting into something custom. So in summary, these are all scissors that will cut hair and do the same job fine. The difference is going to be in upfront cost, quality, and longevity. If you want to spend the least amount of money, you are going to have something that will not last you as long. And if you replace that item over the course of your career, you will end up spending more money if you bought a high quality option in the first place that will last you a long time and give you better quality results over the course of your career. So we've laid out all these comparisons to give you the most information so you can make the most informative decision when buying a scissor or shear. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you next month.